In this next tutorial, I will teach you how to do really well in a job interview. If you want to pass your job interview at the very first attempt, make sure you stay tuned and watch the presentation from start to finish, because I have some really powerful tips that will help you easily beat the competition. And just very quickly, if you are new to the channel, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. Thousands of you are passing your job interviews. I can only help you if you are subscribed. And please give the video a like, because that motivates me to create more content for you. Thank you very much indeed. Okay, let's jump straight into the tutorial. To help you pass your job interview at the very first attempt, I will cover the following 3 things during this tutorial. Number 1, I will give you 11 tips that will ensure you do well in any job interview. These tips are tried and tested, and they will make a huge difference to your performance on the day. Number 2, I will then explain how to quickly overcome interview nerves. Now, interview nerves are the number 1 reason why people don't do well in job interviews. I will help you get rid of those interview nerves quickly. And then finally, number 3, I will tell you where you can instantly download my full set of 50 brilliant answers to difficult interview questions. Interview tip number 1 is to write down a list of your top 5 strengths before you attend your interview. Now, these are the strengths you are going to talk about the most during your interview. And the best 5 strengths to focus on in any interview are as follows. Strength number 1 is collaboration skills. This means you fit into any team quickly and you work closely with other people to achieve all tasks and projects. Strength number 2 is interpersonal skills. Interpersonal skills is the ability to interact well with other people. Strength number 3 is communication skills. So you communicate with team members clearly and concisely. Your written communication is free from mistakes, and you talk to customers positively to make them feel welcomed. Strength number 4 is problem-solving skills. This is a really good strength. You take ownership of problems and challenges, and you come up with solutions that are in the best interests of the organization. And strength number 5 is self-discipline. The strength of self-discipline means you organize your work, prioritize tasks, and you get everything completed on time and to expected standards. So there's 5 strengths to talk about during your interview that will definitely impress the hiring manager. Interview tip number 2 is often overlooked by candidates, and they then end up failing their interview as a result. And that is to research the company before you attend the interview. So before your job interview, take note of what the company actually does, be aware of their products and services, and check out their social media pages to see what their latest news stories are. Now, all of this research will enable you to answer the interview questions. What can you tell us about our company, and why do you want to work for us? Interview tip number 3 is to think of situations you have been in where you worked as part of a team, overcame a difficult challenge, and worked under pressure. So during the interview, the hiring manager is going to ask you several behavioral interview questions. And the most common behavioral interview questions are: tell me about a time when you worked in a team, tell me about a time when you had to overcome a difficult challenge, and tell me about a time when you worked under pressure. Now, the best way to answer these and other difficult behavioral interview questions is to use the STAR technique, STAR. STAR stands for situation, task, action, and result. So you start your answer and you tell the interviewer the situation you were faced with. You then move on and briefly outline the task that needed doing. You then give in-depth details about the action you took to complete the task before finishing off your answer and telling the interviewer the results following your actions. And if you want to listen to me giving brilliant answers in a live interview, interview to those and more behavioral interview questions, you can click that link at any time. Interview tip number 4 is to make sure you arrive at the interview venue 10 minutes before the scheduled start time. This is important. There is no excuse for being late to an interview, so make sure you are punctual. Also, be polite to the reception staff when you enter the building. This is important. Recently, a hiring manager posed as a receptionist, and when the candidate wasn't polite to them when they turned up for their interview, they immediately rejected them. Interview tip number 5 is to make sure you script out your answer to the interview question, tell me about yourself, and practice it before your interview. Now, the first question you will have to answer is going to be, tell me about yourself. You are being asked this question so the hiring manager can quickly determine if you are going to be a good fit for their team, and to also assess your communication skills. If you give a weak answer, you will probably fail the interview. Let me now give you a brilliant example answer to that question, tell me about yourself, and you can use it during your own interview. Here we go. Tell me about yourself. My name is Richard, and I would describe myself as knowledgeable, supportive, creative, commercially aware, and someone who takes pride in their work. Over recent years, I have developed a diverse range of skills and undertaken numerous development courses that have enabled me to become a competent and knowledgeable asset to any team. In my last role, I was renowned for my fast pace of work, my desire to embrace change with a positive attitude, and my willingness to help train up new members of staff whenever they joined the company. I am a high achiever. For example, in my last job, I helped the company promote its products and services to a wider audience on social media, which helped increase sales, and I was often praised by my manager for my willingness to cover co-workers' duties whenever they were off sick or on holiday. If you hire me, I plan to build a long-term career here, and I promise to always add value to my team by carrying out my duties with passion, dedication, and diligence. Interview tip number 6 is to prepare 3 questions to ask at the end of your interview. Now, those candidates who ask no questions at the end of their interview are missing the opportunity to further demonstrate they are the person the company should be hiring. Let me give you 3 smart questions to ask in your interview. Question number 1, can you tell me more about the team I would be a part of in this role? Question number 2, what's the one thing I can do in this position to help your business succeed? Question number 3, what advice would you give to the successful candidate who wants to excel in the role? If you ask those 3 questions at the end of your interview, the hiring manager will definitely be impressed. Interview tip number 7 is to prepare answers to the 10 most common interview questions. Now, there are 10 questions that come up all the time during job interviews, and those questions are, tell me about yourself, why do you want this job, what are your strengths, what's your biggest weakness, why do you want to leave your job, where do you see yourself in 5 years, describe yourself in 3 words, how would you deal with conflict with a co-worker, what are you looking for in your next job, and why should we hire you? And if you want to download my ready-made scripted answers to those 10 difficult interview questions, click the link in the top right-hand corner of the video when you're ready. Interview tip number 8 is to make sure you wear a smart and professional-looking outfit to your interview. It does not matter which job you are being interviewed for. If you don't present yourself in a positive manner, you will not get hired. By taking pride in your appearance and by wearing a smart and professional outfit, it tells the hiring manager you care, you are professional, and you definitely have high standards. Interview tip number 9 is to make sure you take with you to the interview a plan of action of what you are going to do when you start work. Now, towards the end of your interview, the hiring manager will ask you the question, why should we hire you? And you can respond by giving the following answer. answer. Why should we hire you? Here we go. You should hire me because not only do I have the skills, qualities, and experience to match the job description, but I also have a plan of action prepared for what I will do in the position when I start work. This means I can come into the role, fit into your team quickly, and start taking action towards the company's commercial and financial objectives. Now, once you have given them your answer, hand them a copy of your plan of action to read and to watch a video where I give you a brilliant example plan of action for all job interviews. Click the link at the top of this video when you're ready. Interview tip number 10 is to make sure you have a strategy in place for what you are going to do if you struggle to answer any of the interview questions. Now, if they ask you a question that you are not sure how to answer, do one of the following 3 things. Number 1, ask the interviewer to reword the question if you are unsure what the question means. Number 2, ask if you can come back to the question at the end of the interview. This then gives you more time to think of an answer. And number 3, tell the interviewer you are not sure of the answer, but you will contact them by email with your response as soon as you get back from your interview. Interview tip number 11 is about overcoming interview nerves. Now, understandably, you are going to be nervous before and during your interview. Now, whilst the previous 10 tips I gave you will go a long way to helping reduce interview nerves, there's one more thing you can do to bring your anxiety levels down. So the one thing you can do instantly to reduce interview nerves is to stop thinking of it as an interview. Instead, think of it as a meeting between you and a potential employer, because at the end of the day, that is all it is. It is a meeting to find out whether you are suitable for them and they are suitable for you. So once you start thinking of it as a meeting, your nerves will reduce significantly. So there you have it, 11 tips to help you do well in any job interview. Now, if you want to accelerate your learning even further and make sure you pass your interview at the very first attempt, click that link right now in the top right-hand corner of the video. Head straight through to my website, passmyinterview.com, and you can instantly download my full set of 50 brilliant answers to difficult interview questions. It's a fantastic resource and it's going to put you ahead of the competition. Also, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. It's really important. Thousands of you are passing your job interviews. I can only help you if you are subscribed. Please give the video a like because that really does motivate me to create more content for you. Thank you very much indeed. And don't forget to connect with me on LinkedIn. I've put my LinkedIn link in the description below the video. It's always an honor and a pleasure to connect with like-minded professionals such as yourself. Thank you for watching and I wish you all the best for passing your interview. Have a great day.